Hello everybody, I'm Raphael Perry and it's time for some more Tainted Grail. Now tonight's going to be a slightly more sedate episode. Allow me to explain. When I woke up on the sofa earlier, I dozed off for a little while. But when I awoke, I tasted bile in my throat. It was as if I was going to vomit. It wasn't just that thing where you taste a little bit of bile. It was quite serious. And I coughed, I choked, I spluttered, I struggled for breath. It wasn't an asthma attack, but it basically caused one by the time I was finally able to breathe again. I got up, I struggled to the sink, I tried to tried to breathe, essentially. Well, I tried to vomit, and it just wasn't really happening. So, I'm mostly okay now, but breathing is proving to be difficult. There's a sort of rattling wheeze, and I'm trying to not agitate it, so commentary may be a little limited tonight. Anyway, we came here to see Lady Elaine about the book she gave us to read. So let's read it. The Last Voyage of the Andraste by Alvis the Lightkeeper, who might have a bit of a sore throat or something. We shall see. It was not a good place, especially not for the humans. The odd instruments used for gods know what, and the signs written in a strange language, and that disturbing figure. To this day, the mere memory of it makes me shiver. And to think that all of this was, and maybe still is, lurking so close to the horns of the south. If you ask me, they should bury the entrance to that mine and seal it up forever. I tried to convince Captain Lex not to take anything from those accursed chambers, but he wouldn't listen. The four-armed figure didn't look like all that much to me, but I could see how alluring it was to the captain. It reminded me of those strange menhirs I've heard about from the inland villages, only not so impressive in stature. On the captain's orders, we threw the cargo into the hold and steered towards the Isle of the Dead, and its island asylum. Isle of the Dead. Writing these words and reflecting on everything that happened afterwards, I realize now how cruel that name is. I was wrenched from my musings by a roaring sound, almost like a clap of thunder. It knocked me off my feet, flinging me at the mast like a rag doll. It took a while for me to realize that something had hit the bottom of the ship. Something huge. Water flooded the deck. People were running around, screaming. Well, at least those who hadn't already been thrown overboard earlier. I had no idea what was happening. Did Nolly ram us into some rocks? Then came another blow, this time portside. That was when I saw her. Every sailor in the south has heard stories about the terror from the deep, and there she was. Her scaly body gleaming before my eyes for only a moment, but it was a sight I will never forget as long as I live. The ship was sinking, yet I could not stop staring at the spot where I had seen the sea monster. A moment later, a piece of the mast hit me in the head, and I lost consciousness. To this day, I do not know whether I owe my survival to the will of the gods, a twist of fate, or a whim of the monster. Why me? Was I chosen to tell this story? If so, then that is what I shall do, and I humbly offer my thanks to forces I cannot comprehend for giving me the chance to fulfill this task. There we have it, then. This statue with four arms, it reminds him of the menhir statues. It reminds me of the menhir figurines we've encountered.
And? Have you read The Last Voyage of the Andraste?
I have, my lady.
Oh, splendid, splendid. Oh, it's an excellent book, don't you think? Now, let's test your reading comprehension. According to Elvis the Lightkeeper, in the mine near the Horns of the South, they found something that they took with them on the ship. Do you remember what that was, child?
I presume this was the drowned mine. It was a figurine of a fore-dweller.
That's right. This is the artifact I'm looking for. One that might be vital to repelling the wyrdness. According to Elvis's description, the figure is smaller than a menhir, and light enough that they were able to carry it to the ship without any trouble. Were it small, it would probably have been placed in Captain Lex's quarters instead of in the hold. I've estimated it should be about 1 meter tall. Good. Next question. What was the Andraste's destination?
The island asylum of the Red Priests on the Isle of the Dead, my lady.
Correct. Be very careful with what I'm about to tell you. But some believe that the Red Priests are dedicated to studying the wyrdness instead of the Red Death. Captain Lex must have thought they'd pay him generously for a fore-dwell artifact. Last question. What sank the Andraste?
Lady, you wouldn't believe what I could tell you about the Red Priests if I told you. It was a sea monster, the terror from the deep itself, which is ironic given that you're next to a plate on the wall with a carving of a great big fish on it.
Yes, you did well, child. I can see that you were paying attention. According to Elvis, the Andraste was sunk by the legendary terror from the deep. But if you want to know more, ask your keeper friends. They should be much better informed. Now, all you need to do is find the wreck of the Andraste and retrieve the mysterious figure.
A shipwreck is likely to be underwater. Unless it caught up on some rocks. Where exactly did she sink?
Oh, if only I knew. It must have happened somewhere on the way between the Horns of the South and the island asylum. Oh, but where exactly? Fortunately, I know something that could help us. In the Horns of the South Museum, there are some extremely interesting books and documents lying around and collecting dust. Can you imagine having such treasures at hand and choosing to completely ignore them? Oh, barbarians. Among them, you'll find the Andraste's logbook, which was saved by Elvis. I've read it, of course, but I know nothing about sailing. I'm sure such a competent child as yourself will handle it much better. Go to the Horns of the South Museum, read the logbook, and then tell me whether you managed to locate the wreck of the Andraste.
So now we have 2 different people who wish us to visit the museum within the keep. And I think that's what I'm going to do this episode. Then after that, I'll probably head out for a bit of fighting. Now, we don't have enough wood to repair that beautiful statue, that homage to the sea monster. But we're very near to level 10. What are we... How much wood do we have? 35. We need 15 more. Understood. Well. Okay, we can pick some herbs and put them to good use. Oh, you know what else we could do actually while we're here? We could speak to Finley. But I've walked right past him now. I'll come back to him later. For now then, we'll head up to see Rhydderic in the museum, and we will ask him about all the exhibits, and the shipwreck, and the seagulls. And hopefully, any experience gained from that will push us over the brink into the next level. At some point in the distant future, around level 14, 15, 16, we'll be looking to change our equipment. It does appear that equipment change is going to be rather gradual, and we're going to be changing equipment a lot less often than we find it. But that's okay. It gives me time to plan towards equipment that I find, so I don't find equipment and just go, oh no, I don't meet the requirements of this. Instead, I will find equipment and go, okay, I see what the requirements are, I can build towards this if I want to. This matches the direction my character is taking. Or not, as the case may be. Oh, I am definitely still recovering from the incident earlier. And I apologise if I'm using my voice less than usual. Well, I don't mean speaking less often, I mean with less force, less vigour and vim. I'm kind of clinging on at the moment, really. Here we are. So, Arthur's memory, pull out. That sounds like something I really should not do just yet. If I went and told the quartermaster I'm here for Excalibur, he might say, oh yeah, right, yeah, you just go look at it, kneel in front of it like all the other pilgrims or something, you know. Might not take it very seriously until I meddle with it. This was available in early access, but there was like a raised wide... this layout was slightly different. Attempting to take it involved receiving continual damage and a notification that we couldn't take it yet. It's possible that with enough health and healing we may be able to, but I think that's not really what we should be doing right now. We're supposed to be ingratiating ourselves with the keepers. Speaking of which, here is their museum. Should I wait for this fellow to come over here? Maybe I should. You must be Rhydderic. I'd like to speak to you over here, where we can see... Ooh, look at that. That's very interesting. Oh, that's like a gateway, not the back of the head, and then there's the face. You do move. X. Whoa. Aha. Hello. Can I speak to you over the counter? I can. Excellent.
Welcome to the Museum of the Horns of the South, the southernmost keep under Camelot's jurisdiction. My name is Rhydderic, and I will be happy to introduce you to the rich history of this fascinating place. A history that began 623 years ago with the first keeper, Sewell Firstfoot. I'd also like to bring your attention to our numerous exhibits that are,
of course,
as I like to say, inanimate witnesses of the history of the Horns of the South.
He speaks with a slow, practiced rate. It is the speech of one who has prepared a lecture and is determined to give it verbatim. Do tell me about the museum, good man.
It began in the year 542. It is the crowning achievement of a group of keepers who were fascinated with Sewell Firstfoot. It took them years of tremendous effort to finally open an institution devoted to research and education, worthy of commemorating Sewell's great legacy. The first keeper of the museum was Gladwin Flanagan, who was personally appointed by Captain Berach the Black.
Sewell? I think I've heard about him. Oh, Arthur may have memories after this.
I don't doubt it. Since Sewell Firstfoot was a remarkable figure, well known to every keeper, drawing on available sources, we can claim with almost absolute certainty that Sewell Firstfoot was the first man who ever set foot on the island of Avalon. As you can probably guess, that's where his moniker, Firstfoot, comes from.
And presumably that was just the first of his many great deeds, for he is renowned for many things beyond just this.
Oh, of course. Sewell was an outstanding commander whose strategic mind, bravery, and charisma contributed to our capture of the South from the Four Dwellers. He was also the founder of the Horns of the South, so I can say with absolute conviction that if it were not for Sewell Firstfoot, we wouldn't even be standing here having this conversation.
Indeed. We would be elsewhere, obviously. What manner of exhibits do you have here in this museum?
The museum holds a collection of 72 items of the so-called movable, tangible heritage. The collection includes big and small items that represent the world surrounding the keepers of the Horns of the South from the 1st to the 6th century of the Avalonian era. Here you will find militaria, craft tools, everyday objects, furniture, textiles, coins, religious artifacts.
Interesting. And which exhibits are the most remarkable, would you say, in your own estimation, as keeper of this vast reserve of relics of ancient history?
I'd say all exhibits are worthy of your attention, but I could point you to the ones I personally think to be the most notable, or subjectively, of course, the most interesting.
Oh, of course.
Those would be the items that used to belong to Sewell Firstfoot. We have his signal horn, and also his boots. Those boots were the first to touch Avalonian soil.
What is also worth mentioning is the tableware used by King Arthur himself during his visit to the Horns of the South in the 15th year of the Avalonian era.
You have Sewell's authentic boots? Can you tell me more about them?
Yes, remarkable, isn't it? You can find them in the central display. Sewell's boots were sewn from 3 pieces of tanned calfskin, tied at the top with a leather strap. The seam goes through the middle of the instep, which is decorated with ornamental embroidery. On the outer side of each shoe, you can find a decorative brass buckle with the motif of the Camelotian bear. It is notable that even after 600 years, they are still excellently preserved, which is unusual considering the high humidity in this area. It means that even the keepers of that time must have realized the historical value of Sewell's boots, and therefore made sure to adequately preserve them.
Or indeed that they were remarkably well made. The signal horn sounds pretty interesting too.
It is indeed an interesting exhibit. The horn was used by Sewell during wartime, not only for signaling, but also for intimidation. It is 50 centimeters long and made of the horn of an ox. It is the color of yellowed bone, with some ash-gray discoloration on the narrow end. It has a brass mouthpiece and silver fittings on its wider side and at the middle. The shape of the fittings suggests that the horn was hanging on a leather strap, which unfortunately has not survived to this day.
50 centimeters, that's what? Like 16 3/4 inches, roughly. I'm not good at visualizing metric measurements. That being said, though, it's about 2 hours after the attack, and finally I'm being able to breathe easier. There's less rattling in my throat and chest, and that burp really helped. I'm starting to feel my strength return, so that's a good thing. If you suffered through the beginning of this episode, I can only apologize for my health condition at this point in time. I'm not going to apologize for any long-standing health conditions, mind you. And let's continue. Right, tell me more about King Arthur's tableware.
It's a memento of the visit of the legendary ruler of Avalon. Impressive, isn't it? The tableware is made of tin coated with silver. It consists of a plate, a bowl, and a chalice. The edges are decorated with the motifs of Camelot, a crown and a bear. However, those ornaments are of visibly low quality. That detail, and the fact that those are the only wares from that time that have survived to this day, leads us to conclude that this set was cast specifically for that occasion, and that it was finished by a person unfamiliar with this kind of craft, perhaps a blacksmith or an armorer.
Well, thank you for telling me about all of these exhibits. It was enlightening. I'd like to ask you about something else now, though. You know what? It was great listening to you. Very informative. Can you tell me something else?
Really? Do you mean it? Thank you. That's really nice to hear. I'm not used to positive feedback. Usually people only come here when they've had too much to drink and decided that it'd be fun to come over and start mocking me, or touching the exhibits with their greasy fingers. The last person who seemed to actually be interested in the museum was Lady Elaine. We talked a bit about Captain Lex and the trip that ended tragically in the year 513. It was described in The Last Voyage of the Andraste. An interesting read, although I'd say it should be classified as fiction. Lady Elaine thought differently. Apparently she's looking for the wreck of the Andraste. Can you believe that?
Indeed I can. She gave me a copy to read myself, and it was most enlightening. Even if somewhat fictitious. I'm helping her search for the wreck.
Oh, that's excellent. I have a lot of respect for that kind of archaeological endeavor. even when it's based on incorrect assumptions with regard to the subject of the research. But if you happen upon any interesting objects during your search, please don't forget about the museum.
Oh. I've heard you have the logbook from the Andraste. If that's true, can I see it? And more importantly, if you know where it was recovered from, I'd love to know that as well.
Do you mean the document with information about the course, weather, position, and speed of the ship, as well as all of the stops and other occurrences kept by the captain or the first mate? More specifically, the document from the bridge of the Andraste, which sank tragically in nearby waters in the year 513. Indeed, we have it. Please wait here. Here it is, though I doubt those records will tell you anything, since the weirdness surrounding Avalon made sailing impossible. The knowledge of the precepts of navigation has been forgotten.
So, you're saying it's of no use to us? Is there no other way to find the wreck of the Andraste, which someone must have found if they recovered this from it?
Oh, no. We know that. You should have mentioned that you're looking for the wreck of the Andraste rather than the logbook. Every keeper knows that the Andraste was swallowed by the ocean. It's near what's currently known as Smuggler's Bay. Here, I'll mark it on your map.
Right. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I'd also like to ask you about seagulls. Do you know what they're afraid of? Because it's clearly not loud noises and shouting. Maybe get a blonde Scandinavian woman called Tippi Hedren and throw a lot of birds at her and traumatize her for life in an attempt to find out. That might work. It might divert all their attention away from the poor sod on the walls who's obsessed with the idea of the seagulls are waging a personal war on him.
I have to admit that local fauna is not one of my main areas of interest, but I do know the answer to this question, as it is rooted in the history of the Horns of the South. It used to be the case that a significant part of the daily catch was gobbled up by our troublesome coastal neighbors. So the keepers of that time found a very peculiar way to deal with the problem.
Excellent. This sounds wonderful. Let me know what it is.
Some of them, called the seagullers, scared off the coastal birds using specially constructed masks. They made them from feathers and pieces of tanned pigskin sewn together. The reason the gulls avoided these masks is unclear, but perhaps their peculiar shape reminded them of a natural predator?
Right. Could you explain the shape to me? New recipe unlocked. Seagull's mask. And he's sweeping up the floor. We also have a book to read. And apparently he's just going to let us walk out with this. The Andraste's logbook. 12th of Hawthorn Moon 518. Helmsman Knoll insists that he saw a dark shape under the water and a fin the size of a sail. If I find that he's been drinking at the helm, he will not escape the consequences. I'll keep my eyes peeled just in case. It's been nothing but drizzle since dawn, and the wind makes every raindrop sting like pain. Thankfully, we'll soon reach the southern coast. Hour 1. 2.5 knots. To the southwest, wind from the east. Hour 2. 2 knots. Headed southwest, wind from the east. Hour 3. 2 knots, headed southwest, wind from the east. Hour 4, 1.5 knots, headed southwest, wind from the northeast. Hour 5, STS, stationary still at sea, I'm not sure. 13th of Hawthorn moon, 518. The drizzle stopped sometime in the night, and the dawn welcomed us with pleasant weather. No sails on the horizon except a few fishing boats near the horns of the south. We're headed towards the island asylum. It'll be a short, peaceful journey. Hour 5, 2.5 knots, headed eastward now. Wind from the southeast. So they were heading southwest, now they're heading eastward. Do they believe the wind has blown them off course, or are they just going in the completely wrong direction? I'll bring that up for a reason in a bit. Hour 6, 3 knots, headed east, wind from the southeast. And hour 7, knots, course and wind not listed. If we step outside and peruse our map, which we shall doubtless do, we sailed here from the island asylum, and we ended up over here. I see. For some reason I felt this was on the southwest and this was more on the western side of the island. I had tilted the compass somewhat in my... in which case, the shipwreck being here, when they were heading in this direction, kind of makes sense. Because if we were wrecked by the monster and ended up over here, that doesn't mean we had to come by the shortest, most direct route. We may have been coming from somewhere up here as well and just washed up over here, or been wrecked a bit further southwards. I'm not sure, right? Also, we were probably on a different course. Excellent. We have also gained a level. I want to hold off on that because I have a sneaking suspicion. I've heard there is a bug with this seagull quest where you can get a second quest to make a second copy of the mask and gain a benefit from doing so. That may have only been available in early access, and that bug might not exist anymore. For now, though, we desire to make a seaguller's mask. We need leather and feathers, and there is no difficulty on it, so we're just going to do it right now. Wait, we can make 2. Let's hold off. There might be a second mask that is somewhat more distinctive. We don't want to make anything that involves wood. Or that is too... I mean, we could put in some extra leather. We do need to make... Is it drowners or festering currently? We're working on those. I know of a sunken ship. Maybe it's time to... I'm supposed to head back to Lady Elaine and let her know what I've learned. Although that seems to be being skipped now. Drowner's armor. Right. For which I need 3... eight drowner's tongues, 5 leather, and 10, 16 iron. I probably want to boost those a bit, so in the meantime, maybe I do. I mean, if I say all of these, right? 5 endurance. I could build towards this. Let's hold off for now. Will the blacksmith have anything to say about this mask?
You doing it?
No. I wonder if he would have before I made it. Well, let's go give it to the mental nutjob on the wall and explain its purpose. Hopefully he will be grateful for our assistance. Now, the reason I'm doing this is that I have a suspicion I know what the reward for the quest might be. It may be a bonus stat point, and if that is the case, I need to think how I'm going to allow bonus stat points to affect my build and my skill point distribution. I have a pretty good idea. There is a few spells that require high spirituality that I would like to obtain and put into use. I'm not wanting to put as many skill points into the spirituality skill trees. So what I may do if I gain a bonus skill point, a bonus ability skill point, is to on the next level put a point into spirituality and put that level skill point into the stat that got the bonus stat point, thus maintaining build mirroring a little bit.
There you are, finally. Do you have what I need?
He's taken it already! Look, this mask should help you. It should scare off the seagulls.
A mask? Eh? Are you sure? Ah, whatever, sod it.
He's going to put the bloody thing on now, isn't he?
Now they'll get what's coming to them, damn rascals. You can go now.
I helped you with the beasts. I've earned my reward. I think you're forgetting something. Okay. That's saying, I think you've forgotten to reward me. That's saying you owe me for this. So this is more polite, but he might forget to reward me. You know what? I've helped you with the beasts. I've earned my reward.
You're right. Here, take this. But don't think, even for a moment, that the struggle is over. We need more, much more, to finally rid ourselves of those blasted birds once and for all.
Oh?
Ready for the next step in our fight against the flying, shitting enemy?
I may have chosen the correct option. Well, what more can I do?
That's the spirit. In a war like this, every ally counts. Look, I've got the perfect seagull trap design right here. You just need to make a few and set them up in some strategic spots, like this one. And those flying pests will surely get caught. We need to work smart.
Don't you think this whole campaign has gone too far? You know what, I got nothing against seagulls, I just wanted to help you. You know what, alright, I'll get to work. Let's make some traps.
Go on then, and fight against the flying vermin.
Bird traps, okay. Wait, what's this about a bird's feather? +5 encumbrance limit permanently, yes please. Excellent! So now I presume we're going to make 4 seagull traps, and they're likely to involve wood. Maybe I'll just go enjoy my level up now. For all this crafting, I probably should put more into practicality. I do need practicality and dexterity for the cloak, after all. I do indeed need dexterity and practicality. Both of which would make a lot of sense for crafting. I've got 2 and 2. I also want to improve perception at some point, obviously. Let's go gather 6 wood, not quite the 15 I require. And it would appear that crafting for... Oh, now. It would appear that crafting 4 seagull traps might take me a little while. Additionally, there's a... Oh, wait, I know where I'm going, yes. I'm also supposed to be going down to the beach to explore the source of the strange lights. And before that, I want to go see Heber and have him ask a favour of me. Seagull trap does indeed require wood. I need more fillets of fish, which I can probably purchase from the cook. So let's hold off on crafting any more fish oil for a while. And go see what Heber is up to. Perhaps we can also... Oh! A nice little change from today's patch. Items in storage now correctly display ability score requirements. Not that we have any. Let's put something in storage. I know. Why not this fine cloak? So, previously, items in storage would not display which requirements we would meet or not, and it would display items at full effectiveness as if we met all the requirements. Do I want to put anything in here? I can probably afford to sell all 3 of those items. 7 strength, that's a lot. Okay. Yeah. If we get a point of dexterity, we can wield the great bow with sufficient skill. Remember that the damage display is probably including the 5% bonus for having a shield equipped. So that's almost at the same level. Let's go see the apothecary. What was that recipe you were whispering to yourself earlier?
Is some local witchcraft I've been trying to make sense of. I guess I'll find out when I try it.
What, on yourself?
Experience is the best teacher. Don't worry, I'm not testing anything on the others. Graham the Mad, a great Camelotian physician, used to say that a real doctor would never give his patient something he hadn't tried on himself first. A wise approach, which I follow myself.
Graham the Mad. You don't see the irony there.
What irony?
Isn't it dangerous?
The pursuit of knowledge is always dangerous. That's why it's reserved for only the bravest of the brave. It takes true guts to face the unknown, to realize just how little you know, and how insignificant you are to the world.
I see. Well, you could try it out on me.
Oh, that was unexpected. Here, take it. What will happen, I have no idea. But please, tell me, if you live to find out.
You know what? Let's drink Heber's elixir. Nothing seems to have happened. Is there anything I can help you with? Apparently I can't report back on it.
Why would you, though? Don't you have better things to do?
Well, I'm trying to get him the quartermaster's good books.
Aha, got it. So you're up for work not out of the goodness of your heart, but for your own selfish plans.
Well, doesn't everyone have an agenda?
Good point. That is a very good point. But all right, if you're a mercenary, then I do have a job for someone who'd be willing to risk their life in exchange for material goods.
You're going to have to tell me a little more than that, my friend.
Back at the Academy, I found an ancient scroll written by the Druids. Forbidden knowledge, especially now, after the mob forced them all into a wicker man and burned every last one of them to ash. I finally deciphered it a little while ago. It describes a ritual that needs to be performed at night within a stone circle. And guess what? There's one in the nearby forest. I guess you already know what I need you to do, hmm?
Oh, how convenient. There's a stone circle nearby. What's the purpose of this ritual?
That is an excellent question. But I don't know. From what I've been able to decipher, it's a summoning spell to bring something or someone to our world.
Backwards,
That
belt
being will
buckle!
share its great knowledge with the one brave enough to summon it. I need you to tell me what it says, and repeat it to me after you're back, word for word.
Right. Why can't you go yourself?
Isn't it obvious? I'm the only medic they have here at the Horns. I'd like to see Fergus's face if he hears about me going out there.
I see. You know, a mob burned all the druids in a wicker man some time ago, and you're asking me to undertake a druidic ritual?
And here I am, thinking that everyone's already heard about the Charred Conclave. Well, it wasn't the proudest moment in our history, that's for sure. You truly don't know. At some point, the villagers all around the island decided that the druids were responsible for the Red Death, and all other ailments of our times.
Yeah, the red
They
priests put
rounded
them
them
up to
all
it.
up in a massive wicker man north of the Full Swords, and burned them all to ashes. Hundreds of years of knowledge gone within the blink of an eye. But, well, that's what's bound to happen when you stop paying for people's education and invest in keeping the elites fed instead.
In the original Tainted Grail board game, one of the player characters was the last of the druids, and he was a drug addict and fairly inexperienced. I think if he went to the Island of the Red Priests early on, he could pick up on some clues the other characters could not, because different characters had, strengths and benefits in different areas. Alright, let's undertake this ritual then. Thank you. Isn't your fascination with the druids illegal?
In Camelot, maybe, but this far south? Nobody cares. I've spent my entire life digging through scrolls and books in pursuit of their knowledge. I've been reading about their rites and the descriptions of their rituals. Look, I'm sure they were onto something. They knew much more than we do, but it feels like there's a veil wrapped tightly around that knowledge. It's like I need to find the right spell, the right ritual, something that will unwrap it for me.
I see. I also feel a need to sneeze. Let's look at this then. To all seekers of knowledge, heed these words. You have stepped onto that will lead you to the greatest treasure of all, wisdom. As you are preparing to become a vessel for ancient druidic secrets, you must gather the following ingredients. Some of the knowledge you seek. Venison, onion, and a clove of garlic. Sounds like something to do with cooking. Put them into a cauldron. Take these offerings to a sacred druidic site of your choosing. Put them on the altar, and then wait patiently for enlightenment to dawn upon you. At which point, something might appear and say thank you for the feast. And we do have a level up, still pending. Do you happen to have... Hey, there's the sage we're after. Excellent. I will purchase this. After the Conclave, Druidic Alchemy Volume 1. Because if I'm going to be tackling people like Fingerless Colm, I'm going to want all the best healing items I can get. After the Conclave, Druidic Alchemy Volume 1, by Cuthbert Cadwalla of the Royal Academy of Camelot. I extend my gratitude to the Royal Academy for permitting me to compile the knowledge of the eradicated druids. Though their practices were vile, their knowledge, when refined, may serve Avalon's betterment. At the core of druidic alchemy were sage and mistletoe, sacred plants with proven healing and cleansing properties. Combined with strong alcohol, they produced potent, long-lasting remedies. However, even in simple recipes, the druids relied on ingredients from the wyrdness. Their arts, corrupted at the roots, are better left forgotten, along with those who practice them, and yet you're wanting to study those exact arts, or attempt to replicate them without studying and understanding what you do. Let's make some nice big health potions. As many as we can. I'm not batch crafting because that could lead to batches of, wildly varying quality. I'd like to make some more Fool's Rush. However, it requires Drowner's Tongues, which we need for our armor crafting quest. That being said, if we're making the Drowner's armor, we have made the armor, right? Corpse Eater's Cap requires dexterity. Festering Helm requires more endurance than we currently have. Let's put the Corpse Eater rags and Festering Chest Guard away as well. And the Traveller's outfit. It might be worth equipping those at some point, but not right now. Okay. You know what? Let's restore our power. I'm going to take Perception this level. Here we go. We've doubled our critical hit chance. And improved our critical hit damage. This doesn't do much to improve our ability to use items or anything. And I'm going to the critical hits tree, and I'm going to take Extra Lucky for an extra 2% critical hit chance. So our critical hit chance has gone up from 1 to 4%. Now 4% is very low, but we can make it 6, 8%. That'd probably be 10 if we put another couple points in. But more importantly, we want critical cascade in the future. Every consecutive hit increases the chance of a critical hit by 2% up to 20%. The reason we want this is not only for large spikes in our damage output, but also to trigger Respite in Cruelty more reliably. Critical hits have a 20% chance to fully restore your stamina. Stamina is a resource that we need to manage in combat. Additionally, I want Titan's Endurance increases maximum stamina by 10% for every 30 seconds spent in combat, up to 30%. After staggering an enemy, restore 20 stamina. That's not a critical hit. And we need to batter their own stamina to do that. Where are we? Is it under strength? Consecutive hits. Increasing critical chance on consecutive hits. It's less than the one from the critical tree, but I could stack them both. 5% chance to stun isn't robbing them of their stamina. Heavy attacks with one-handed weapons reduce the target stamina by 5% of the inflicted damage, and we can take that 3 times, so it might go up to 15, or it might be like 5, 7, 10, or 5, 8, 10. Okay. Anyway, we do have Mighty Blows batters down their stamina. I could have sworn there was something for recovering stamina on killing enemies. Which you'd think would be in endurance. Killing an enemy restores 10% of your maximum stamina, so that is one we're going to want pretty soon. So, hopefully you can see the picture all coming together. It's just going to take us a few more levels to get things working. And that's the nice thing about this game. You can see a build coming together. For now, though... Oh, wait. I should have checked if the cook had... what are we doing for time? Nearly evening. In which case, we might not quite have time to do what I would like. So what else can we do then? I'd like to go down to the beach. And maybe even indulge in a little night fighting. So I should probably be looking at some crafting. I require iron and leather. How much? You know what? Let's make 1.
Now I am become death, the destroyer of seagulls!
This is gonna get a bit crazy. Wait. That looks like a helmet, right? A helmet with a handle, so it's like a bucket. Those look like the ear flaps of a helmet, but they also look more like a beak that's gonna... I presume that's supposed to flap down shut and trap it in when it takes the bait. So if I waste all the metal on this, I still don't have a very great chance of crafting something good. Okay. Did I craft festering arm guards? I can't remember. I think I may have done. Yes. So perhaps I should be looking to meet that item requirement soon. It's half a point less armor, but increased stamina regeneration and maximum stamina, which are both good things. It also weighs a lot less, so we might be dipping down into lighter armor categories again. I really don't think I have much to do in the keep at this point. Wait. While I am waiting for night to fall, I shall visit the cook and see if he can help me with bait. For these bird traps. Hello there. He apparently cannot. So I'll need to find some more. And I don't like the... Is there something I can do with cooking? X is the description of the fish. X is the description of all of the fish. That's very odd. Well, let's stock up on items we know we can cook well with. Flour? Sure. Oats? Yeah. I will need an onion. Some venison. And one other thing I can't remember. However, as the Standing Stone is a very long way off, I can easily afford to garlic. Right. Garlic. There we go. Excellent. Right. So if I rest for 2 hours... There we go. Now, I should be careful outside the keep. Because I have seen Abigor, the Dark Knight himself, getting up and roaming around with sword drawn and shield at the ready in the weird night. When I was mucking about off camera, I avoided him, I did not engage, because he's liable to be nasty enough when it's not nighttime. Let's just see if I can encounter a few weird spirits and then head back. And let's avoid going too close to Sir Abigor. Where? Over there. I see you. I don't know what you're up to, spirit, but I don't like it. Oh, the game is on. We are detected! Oh, they do a new thing when they die now. That's interesting. You there. Face me! Oh, goodness. What a horrific guttural growling sound. Oh god, he's over there! That's closer than usual. A lot closer than usual. I'm trying... You know what? I think I can tackle all of them. Probably not the knight down there by the edge of the King's Road, mind you. Oh, it certainly... There's a buried chest. Let's deal with this aggressor round the corner. And again, I probably shouldn't call him the aggressor. I really need to practice parrying. we are getting a nice amount of unidentified items, so let's dig up this chest. While I remember that I haven't done so already. Coins and some whiskey, okay. The spirits are very swift. And can strike hard and fast. I think I'd like to just get out of here and head back to safety. Now it's worth noting that if I attack someone like Calm, Fingerless, at night, he won't go berserk and lose his combat skills the way these peasants seem to. I see you. Whatever you're doing, it feels like you're stalking me, hunting me, growing close. Let's light a quick fire. And fuel it. What have we found? A small mana potion, a pretty good one, mind. Ooh, battle axe +2. Excellent. You know what? Since we got our fire here, and we've fueled it, let's rest till dawn. Well, morning. So we now have a nice two-handed axe. Hang on. 25 to 27. Well, it's not anymore. It's now 23 to 25. 26 to 30. 31 to 34. That's much nicer. So we'll equip that two-handed axe. And then swap back to our Mason's Shield and head down to the beach for the kind of picnic that doesn't feature teddy bears. Now we should ask ourselves why the developers chose the bear as a sign of Camelot. That's interesting, because of course Sir Arthur Pendragon, the son of Uther Pendragon, well, apart from the fact that you can blatantly hear the word dragon in the name, Pen is the beginning of a Cornish surname, and Tintagel is in Cornwall. So, I mean, it's literally Pen, Rye, Pol, and one other syllable. Any surname beginning with those is probably a Cornish surname. Is it Trevivic or something is the other one? I can't remember. Anyway. Cornish surnames have 5 common first syllables among them that they all seem to share. And Pendragon would literally translate into English as something like son of the dragon, right? So if there was anything that should be associated with the royal family of Camelot, it's probably not a bear, let's put it that way. So that is an interesting choice. Now. Oh. I didn't mean to come here. Well, here I am now. You know what? Fuck it. I need some drowner tongues, don't I? Excellent start. Now. Got to aim a bit lower for the ones with the helmet on, because it just bounces off of those. Hey. There we go. Oh, there's one for helmet on. Excellent stuff. And I got this one over here as well, miraculously. Now, there is the ogre down the beach that way, who is a little too powerful for us still. We got a way to go yet. Let's head back to the correct section of beach that we wished to explore in the first place. I meant to take the other little path down to a smaller section of beach with a druidic shrine instead of this one with the drowned mine. Let's get ourselves some running practice in, just to boost our movement speed slowly over time, and to tire out my fingers. Hilariously, people on the forum have started asking about a constant forward motion key, and people have said that if you go into the options menu, the walk button can be set to, you know, a toggle or press and hold. Those people clearly don't know what the walk button does. Okay, controls, is it then? Walk. Walk is not constant motion. What it does is this. Let's put our weapon away for a moment. So, our normal motion of movement is this sort of fast walk or jog. Walk puts us into a much more realistic walking motion, which I personally enjoy. So we have the walk, the fast walk turning into a jog, and the full-on run. I turned walk into a toggle rather than press and hold, because I find it more realistic than to run everywhere. For now though, we are practicing our speed, and we can probably mine there. Let's do that on our way back. We're going to have to fight a little, aren't we? Yeah. Yeah. You are about to get shot at. Sometimes you got to aim a bit above them. And then other times, not at all. I do have a two-handed axe I should practice using. Ugh. Practice has been applied to the skill. Where the hell is the third one? Oh, back there. I now hopefully have enough parts to make a serious effort on crafting that drowner armor. Now, as I mentioned, I've come across a rumor that the reset potions remove all shrine bonuses and other permanent bonuses, such as from Menhir figurines, so I'm going to be cautious not to do so, but it does mean I'm going to be a little more careful about my build. And it would appear that the lights spied from the keep all the way up there somehow come from down here. Why, in this vast... I mean, I can't really even call it a cave. That's just this kind of overhanging slab of rock that appears to have toppled at some point and maybe fused together over the years. But here's a man, and there are ancient symbols on the walls.
So much for a secluded cave keeping visitors away. Seems like there's no one on this island to hide in peace. Ah well, since you're here, I have an important question. Do you have any food?
Who are you?
I promise to answer all of your questions, no matter how annoying or asinine they might be. But first, do you have any food?
Food?
Oh dear. Yes, food. That stuff you put in your mouth to make sure your body doesn't wither and die, you know? Fish, meat, vegetables, bread. Oh, some bread would be especially nice. But I'll take anything, really.
Okay. Here you go. Do we have any bread? He really wanted some. We do not have bread. We do... Oh, give him an onion bun. That's near enough to bread, isn't it?
Thanks. I'll be forever indebted to you. But don't expect much. The only payment I can offer you is seashells, or, you know, access to an infinite well of ancient druidic wisdom. I'd rather you choose wisdom. I threw out my collection of seashells a few days ago after I stepped on them with my bare feet.
Oh, that's nasty.
Much better. Time for a nap. Oh, except you're still here. Oh no, don't tell me you still have questions.
We had a fade to black. Did he teach us something? Have our stats changed? Have we got like an extra 2% spell power or something? I'm not sure. You know, a friend found an ancient druidic scroll. Can you tell me any more about this?
Oh, you know what would be nice? A bath. I do miss baths.
You live by the sea. You can take as many baths as you want in salt water.
I suppose when someone says they miss the taste of roast pork, you tell them to go lick a pig. Anyway, show me the scroll. Yes, I see. Well, you should definitely follow the ritual. Just make sure you do everything exactly as it is written. I'm sorry, I can't tell you anymore, but it is essential that you discover it for yourself. Revealing the details would spoil the effect.
Oh. Right.
The pursuit of knowledge often requires taking great risks. Now, off you hop. The ritual awaits.
What are you doing here?
Well, I live here, obviously.
Obviously. How did you get here?
The same way you did, I presume.
Yep. You know, you ever gonna give me a straight answer?
I'm giving you truthful answers. That's all you should ever hope for.
Okay. So we completed our quest to investigate the shrine. If we gained any extra modifiers, there's a book down there. Then I'm not sure entirely what those might be. The wisdom he's given me might just be experience points. Who knows? Let's go look at his book, but I'm not going to steal it. Materia Medica, Volume 3. Plants for Health and Magic. Sage, the Holy Plant of Shadows and Light. By Sidonius Geron. Legend says that the All-Mother, in grief for her children's sufferings, sowed sage under the moonlight, granting its silvery leaves her blessing. This sacred plant grows in sprawling bushes with pale purple flowers and pointed silvery green leaves that shimmer like Avalon's ancient sorrow. Its earthy, bitter aroma seems to whisper secrets of the land itself. Sage is renowned for its restorative powers, sharpening memories, soothing joints, easing fevers, and driving out unseen enemies within the body. Its smoke, burned in the rituals of druids and priestesses, can cleanse curses, repel spirits, and stir dormant life. More than mere medicine, sage is a relic of divine compassion, a small but potent shield against the darkness. And if one must indulge in mortal cravings, it lends a fine flavour to meats. And we have learned the recipe for a strong health potion. There is a book in Heber's possession which will teach us how to craft strong health potions and strong mana potions. For now, let us swim. The patch has improved the effect of waves while swimming. Now we're not like constantly underwater. But also maybe bobbing up and down a bit as we swim. I see space over here. I would like to explore it. Now this is obviously going to connect round to where the keeper buried his treasure. So there's space over here we might want to explore at some point. But it will connect round to the village of the refugees. There's a spade here. Perhaps someone was digging. I suspect... Oh god. There's a current. The current was pulling me under. I wonder if we need perception to find buried items. Or not. So I did step over here off camera and found a buried chest. Let's see if I can... Ah! Here we go. If I can discover it once again. Some coins and Sven, the battle axe. This axe increases physical damage by 24%, but reduces maximum mana by 35%. If I'm using a two-handed weapon, I won't be using mana very much anyway. Unless I have a very specific build. It is intriguing. And that looks like it may be worth exploring at some later point. But for now... Oh, there's some kind of ruin here as well. Which may also warrant exploration. Maybe when I've crafted the Drowner's gear, I'll be more comfortable swimming around in all this water to see what I can find. And then if we just jog across here, we should find ourselves back where Sigurbold buried his loot. Just there. And you know what? Let's go talk to Finn as we splash through the shallows. Because it's all experience, right? It's all helpful. We are nearing level 11. And I do want to upgrade to these gauntlets at a later point. Although I probably want to get the endurance before the... Actually, no, I probably want to get the dexterity and practicality for the cloak. So let's go speak to the dumb man. Or the mute, if you prefer. I don't like mute, it sounds more clinical. Just call him dumb. It's not like he's stupid or anything. Finley, Tagdon told me about you and Berg. Why aren't you drinking together anymore? We have a shrug. I need you to be more precise. Do you know what happened to Berg? He nods. He was too upset to talk. Did something happen recently? No. So it happened back in the past then? Yes. Where can I learn about what happened? He shrugs. Will Tagden tell me any more? No, he says. So I assume I can learn more outside the horns. He nods. Can you point me in the right direction? He also nods, but he shook his head when I asked him if he knew where I could learn more, so he is writing something down and vandalizing our map. And we gained 50 experience from watching him draw on our map, which is fine, I suppose. Patrice and Cole are still over there. Cole's still in the cage. And I am not going to push on their particular storyline just yet, because I've honestly been recording for long enough and I should probably wrap up the episode soon, but I've been enjoying myself. Don't worry, I'll record this again tomorrow night, so it'll all be fine. Hopefully then my throat and lungs will be much better. I don't suppose I got any more fillets of fish while I was, you know. Did I lose one? I could have sworn I only used one to make a trap, not two. I had 3. I didn't give some to the... I can't use a knife as a cooking ingredient when cooking, can I? There probably is a way to use fish. Or maybe not. Well, I might as well make another seagull trap now then, if I still can, so that I don't waste the required ingredient on something else. We made a nice bit of progress today, right? Marked off a few quests, gained some experience, gained another level. Oh, wood. Wait a minute. I may very well be going down to the village in the next episode. Ah, 49 wood. Not quite enough. Okay. Okay, game. Okay. Soon, though. Soon we will complete that statue. We'll complete our repairs to it.
It's nice to have a break.
It is indeed. Let's make another trap. Wait. I have 3 fish fillets here, but I only had 1 in the inventory. Okay, well let's... Okay. Do I now have enough? Quests. Not this one. Track it. I should now place them around the keep. Are there specific locations marked? Very specific locations marked. Well, okay then. You know what? I might as well. Is that up or... I think it is up. Alright.
Hope nothing bad happens
1,
today.
2... I mean, it's the high points, right? Oh, okay. 4... 1... 2, 3. Well, let's, up in that tower. Okay. We can obviously do this.
Just another peaceful moment.
Oh, is one in the lighthouse? Doesn't look like it. That's a relief. And when I'm finished, there might even be a little more wood to chop. But I need more than a little more wood now, as I've made 3 more traps. I hope I don't have to put one of these in the rooftop garden, where the gruff and grumpy garden keeper doesn't like us being. I'm a little concerned about the lad who deserted to go home to be with his family.
Everything will be just fine.
I mean, wait. His hair has disappeared because of the mask. He had hair before he put it on. Should we be concerned that he's a complete idiot and has decided that he really wants the feathers to stand out from his hair and doesn't want them to confuse his hair for feathers, so he wants to absolutely see the feathers and has thus removed his hair completely so he can look like an absolute numbskull? Quite possibly. Here we go. Here we go. We're going to put a trap here, okay? I mean, it really does look like a helmet. Okay. Wait, is that a bird inside it already? Like... No, not necessarily. Okay. Oh, no, we have... Oh, God, it is... It is the lighthouse. Okay. And if we walk out to the lighthouse, we may be heading out into the weirdness. Well, you know what? We got plenty of time, I suppose. Plenty of time. Friend, you better be grateful when I've done all this. Because it seems absolutely bonkers. Wait, that's not 2. That's also 1. Are they now 1, 2, and 3? That would be interesting. If it just moves the numbers along, 1 each, as I do them. Because one of them was definitely showing number 4 earlier. And I could have blatantly done it first. What? Under the stairs? Yeah, under the stairs. How bizarre. I'm not going to rob the keepers of their precious supplies. And now let's cross another bridge and head towards the one lighthouse that's in good working order. I don't want to climb up it unless I have to. I don't think there's anything too important in there. Just more containers full of supplies. And yeah, that's also showing number 1 now. Interesting. Well then, I should probably go slower because of the rain. I don't want to slip on the boards. I mean, it's pretty perilous up here. And I'm not going to attempt to leap across that gap. But I am going to utilize my little used jump skill to leap and hopefully land without... Oh, no, that's not, that's right. There we go, right. Jump and land. Okay, I think I see the edge of the weirdness down there, so I believe we are safe. There's a composite bow. And there's a trap. With a rope-like handle. It looks like a metal bird in there. Right, now I don't want to fall off. I mean, this does give me a reason to go, oh look, there's a tower, let's go into it. But maybe not. I do need to practice my jumping skill. There we go. Because a time may come, like the Bruma, I want to say Bruma, Oblivion Gate in Oblivion, where you need to make a running jump across a broken bridge at the very beginning of the Oblivion bit, and if you fail, you fall to your death. So literally, if you just haven't improved your jumping skill enough by that point, you are screwed. It's about the only soft lock I can think of in the game, to be honest. For now, we'll go across this windy bridge as the rain pelts down. And we'll just be careful of our footing and the fact that some of those knots seem to be significantly above the rope they are attached to. But hey, even AAA games have those kind of issues, somehow. And there's our trap down there, waiting for the gulls. May it bring the man on the wall great peace of mind and satisfaction, and may it bring us some manner of reward when the job is all done. Alright. Oh, that's quite a jump up onto the bridge. I was going to call it the rope instead of the rope bridge. I was going to call it the rope, then the rope ladder, and realised, no, it's a bridge. And forgot that I could have said rope bridge. But that's okay. We'll be off this bridge soon and feeling very safe. Our feet back on the firm ramparts at the top of the wall. Yeah, so many people use battlements instead of ramparts. Ramparts is such a nice word. So much nicer than matriculations, which sounds like metric. Although people have ditched the first R, and they're all saying matriculations now. Now, I don't know if I was originally taught matriculations incorrectly by someone. And I haven't bothered to look it up and check. The matriculations or matriculations are the individual battlements. The word battlements itself refers not to what most people think the battlements are. The rising defensive cover behind which, but rather the whole rampart itself. The whole area. Okay, let's get this last trap in place. As the weirdness of the night howls around the castle on the outside. And yet we're putting on a bit of a burst of speed now, because there's going to be some significant backtracking, and now that spot number 4 is also probably spot number 1. You know what, let's go up and over this way. Because we can. It's a little more creative, and we can come back the other way if we so desire through the courtyard. In fact, it doesn't even seem to have a number at this point. It's just the only remaining objective. And we might as well come back this way just for simplicity's sake. It seems to be one of the most effective routes. Oh my god, you want me to get up there? Oh, okay. Okay. Not quite as dangerous as it initially looked. There we go. Ugh! We did not fall down into the courtyard. We are good. The traps are set. We should indeed return to Othello and let him know our task is done. And then my voice can rest. Probably have a nice drink just to wet my throat up a little after this as well. Ooh. I'm not going to jump down there because we will have good reason to go there in the not too distant future. Although if we can get another level or two first, that would be great. And I have good reason to believe that the bonus of this quest is some kind of stat point, possibly 2 points to the same ability score. And I believe that ability score to be perception. In which case, I'll put a couple of points into spirituality, some levels, and balance them out with perception skill points in the critical tree. You know what, there's something soothing and cooling about just strolling across the courtyard here at a steady pace instead of just going full on leg-it. And that is fine. Oh, my ribs and chest still hurt from the incident 2.5 hours ago. Clearly, my body needs to recover. Now, friend, I bring good news.
I should stay out of trouble. And how did my traps work? Quite the technological marvels, aren't they?
You know, those traps are pretty impressive. Do you have a reward for me?
What? I'm giving you the opportunity to take part in the greatest campaign since King Arthur's time, and you're asking for money?
No, not money. The greatest campaign, eh?
You have no idea what we're doing here, do you? What I can achieve with your help, since I can't leave this damn keep.
Uh-oh.
Seagulls are the biggest threat to the people of the South. They steal food. Their caustic shits destroy tents and roofs. And when they're really hungry and gather in flocks, they can even kidnap children. Sometimes they even attack adults. Most people think they're just innocent birds. But I know who I'm fighting.
You know, a campaign is one thing, but everyone needs to eat. I may have taken the wrong option a little while back.
Well, that's fair. You're not one of us, so I guess Rourke isn't feeding you for free. Here, half of my pay.
Wow.
Eat your fill, so you'll have strength for further battles. So, are you ready for another challenge?
Apparently I am.
We need to solve the seagull problem on Avalon once and for all. You'll search for their nests and destroy them without mercy. Burn the nests, shoot the parents. It's the only way to eradicate the evil for good.
Bloody hell, that sounds a bit extreme. But I'll keep an eye out for their nests. I've no idea where I'll find them, mind you.
The nests will keep coming back. But don't even think about giving up. Only consistency will save us. There will be less of them with time, you'll see. Go. Fulfill your mission, my brave first officer.
You know what, this sounds like an absolute nightmare. Yeah, maybe I should talk to Fergus about this. This is getting a bit out of hand now. And he's probably gone to bed. Knowing my luck. I mean, the hour is late after all. Perhaps Gwilyn needs that special drink Heber makes that lets the men stay awake without needing sleep, because clearly he may be a bit sleep deprived. I see the marker, but I still sense he may have gone to bed. Okay, let's put on a bit of a burst of speed. Hang on, how late is it? Oh god, nearly 6 in the morning. Yeah, okay, fine. It's, he's probably in his... Oh, the marker just shifted. And here I am, still playing when I should be stopping. You know what, I may be getting the man in trouble here. But I should probably do that this episode instead of leaving it for the next one. He's up and about remarkably early. There we go. We need to talk about Gwilyn.
Let me guess. He's trying to rope you into his campaign against Avalonian seagulls.
Yes. How did you know?
It's a well-known story. All the keepers know of Gwylyn's obsession, but it's less amusing than it sounds. You see, Gwylyn is from a coastal village. His father, a fisherman, worked hard to feed his family. He instilled a deep hatred of seagulls in Gwylyn, claiming they were our greatest enemy. He taught his son how to kill them effectively, and insisted they were agents of the Forge Dwellers.
That sounds pretty mental.
Essentially, yes. But he wasn't always like this. When he joined, he just didn't like seagulls and avoided them. I gave him simple jobs away from the walls, and everyone was happy. Until one day, he asked to serve on the walls. I agreed because I thought he'd simply got used to the birds. I had no idea I would be contributing to feeding his obsession.
And there was me thinking you were going to say his father was a fisherman and the seagulls used to steal their fish. When did you realize he was getting worse?
I spoke to him. Between his rants, I heard a confession I didn't expect. When Gwylyn was only 7 years old, he saw a flock of seagulls attack his father and pluck his eyes out.
Bloody hell.
Is it true? Or the ramblings of a madman? It's not for me to decide. Don't get me wrong. Gwylyn is harmless, and he's a good soldier. But he can't be helped.
Aren't you concerned his madness might escalate? 25%? That's not good. I need to improve that perception.
Whatever he's asked you to do, just ignore it. Don't argue with him. It's not your responsibility. If he brings up seagulls, just pretend you didn't hear him. That's what we all do.
That might not be... Okay. Not quite what I was expecting. Perhaps I needed to pass that perception check. Oh god, that's big stats on the bow. Perhaps I needed to pass that perception check to get the next stage of the quest. How bizarre. Hang on. How far back is this? Not far at all, okay. Oh shit, is it just after... It is, isn't it? It's just a few seconds ago. It's an autosave after having the quest cancelled. I'm not sure if that counts as failed or complete. That I should look into. Quests. Failed, nothing. Okay, so it doesn't count as a fail. The previous one then, 4 minutes earlier. Okay. Okay. So if my next step is to go and see the quartermaster, I'll just hold off until I've got more points of perception. Was it perception or practicality? I think it was perception.
I should stay out of trouble.
Well, I don't think I should speak to the quartermaster about this just yet. Because rumour has it there's a way to get a quest out of this quest line to make a second mask, and the reward is 2 points in perception. Now, I know there is a book in the crypts that grants a point of perception on reading. I think I should go back to tracking the main quest for now. There we go. And that about wraps up the episode then. Oh, there we go. I hope you've all enjoyed this one. I certainly have. Although I didn't quite have my usual level of energy at the beginning, and I'm still recovering a bit now. And I'll look forward to seeing you all in the very next episode. I'll say goodbye for now though, and cheerio. See you all soon, everyone.